Hello for sciencing tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Lobotomy Corporation. Don't forget that the heart of the game is testing things out and seeing what works and what doesn't. Anyway, welcome back. It's a late night stream. We're live on YouTube still. There's a few people from odd time zones from not probably in my time zone or just, it's like 2 a.m. my time. Anyway, so today, day 41. We've got two quests that we should be fine with. This quest is going to be easy as long as we don't have a big death. And this will be a kind of tricky quest, except we've got a plan. We spent a fair bit of time, between episodes plotting this out, so that'll be fun. And of course, we've got our new WA class to explore, or science out. I've also resurrected Thorinum because his death last episode was pretty cheap, so I figured it's fine to give him another chance. But I won't give him the bird armor this time, or the fiery bird armor, so a little bit safer. Other than that, a couple mild tweaks to the weapons and armors as we unlock more Aleph gear. You may notice that I haven't bought the Aleph purse yet. That's because I'm going to use that as one of the 5. And where are the other 4 ego gifts going to come from? Well, just you wait, YouTubers. Just you wait. Alright, so you can see, as long as 4 people or 5 people with high justice don't die, we're fine. And extracting ego gifts isn't particularly difficult if you've got them free. And you even get 8 points off. Deal. So that's 1 out of 5. What am I going to do for the other 5, though? Maybe you notice some of these no-name employees around here. My original plan was to actually kill them. But some kind live tubers talked me out of it. So we're going to try a different strategy for this, rather than throwing away my employees' lives. My default, of course, was to just kill everyone. But we're going to try out Old Belief and Promise, and this was a good idea. You can primarily try to increase your stats of your weapons temporarily. But you might be able to break them. Oh yeah, you need energy first. Good point. You know, chat's keeping me honest. While we gather energy, let's go play around with our new Giganto Eye Bird. So that's some interesting thing here. I have seen it before, so it's not completely new. I'm not blind to it. I can't help myself. But let's go say hello to our new bird. That should get us enough basic energy. That is to say, I never remember going into things what the correct choice is. If we're going off of our previous birds, Tall Bird was good with anything that wasn't repression. And this bird was... So I'm going to say probably insight and not repression for the birds. Now, the fiery bird was a little bit different in that insight was bad on it, but this is not part of the bird trio. He's from the... you mentioned the forest? I think it's the other 3 that really talk about eyes and forests and stuff. This guy's a little bit separate. This guy with the eyes probably has more things in common with the bird that has no eyes. So, we'll go with insight. We'll see. Alright, Dobry, you're up. A sudden thought struck it. If I kill creatures first, no creature will be killed by the monsters. Then the forest found peace. And we're off to a terrible start. Ghastly sound of flickering... The ghastly sound of flickering eyes and lamp burning is filling the containment chamber. The ghastly writing of grammar suppresses our ability to continue. Oh, well now we've turned it around. We've got a bad start, but it's getting better. The back of Dobry, maybe behind Dobry, hairy black bird's rumbling sound can be heard. This one might have the worst, grammar for its custom dialogue. Dobry's decision to not face Aubrey was a very good choice. Or, Dobry's decision not to face Bird was very good. It's doing black damage, notably. The bird is making sounds with its teeth. Birds aren't supposed to have teeth, you know. I gotta say. And we got a good out of that, anyway. Well, I was a little bit worried at first, but a good is well, it's not great, but it is good. Alright, so we managed to get 18 points. Let's start with the tips. There's a lot of tips. But it looks like insight will be fine, so let's just go with it. I didn't scroll up enough. Alright, every time 5 employees die, the clip-off counter decreases. I sure hope you haven't got tired of janitors dying and monsters escaping, because now we got a third one. However, it doesn't recognize the death of employees by execution bullet. So, meet Mountain and Army of Black 3.0. Unfortunate. When the work result was bad, clip-off counter was reduced. So if all 3 break out, Mountain plus Army in Black plus the bird, then Little Red will also immediately escape. So that's a quad chain of 4 monsters all getting out instantly. Amazing! Who argued that we should go for this one? I blame you. But, on the other hand, when the work result was good, the clip-off increases. It's very rare that you can increase the clip-off. So, in that sense, it's got a little bit more in common with the Army in Black, where technically there's a way to preserve it, and then only the Mountain is a forced breakout. Let's try again. We got a little bit lower. We got a bit of a penalty this time around, but we'll see. So it seems to just want to kill everything so that some other monster doesn't kill people. Its eyes and the lamp are lighting up the dark chamber, like stars. Sporadic squeals of the bird can be heard. A dazzling bright lamp is in front of Dobry, who has turned his head to avoid seeing it. We got a neutral that time, but as far as I recall, so far a neutral doesn't mean anything bad. We still did not get enough points for big info, but we'll go for tips. Man, 2 works and I haven't even finished 1 section. Alright. It escapes the containment unit regardless of the counter when the situation becomes a level 2 emergency. So we were talking about this between episodes a little bit just to explain what this is. This is second trumpet, or like you guys have probably recognized when we get the yellow, like when some abnormalities escape, we sometimes get the yellow border around the egg. That's the first trumpet or level 1 emergency. We have seen level 2s and 3s, but they're a lot rarer, and they only happen when things go really bad. So on one hand, this will make those things worse, but it also won't happen very often. There was a blackout in the department when it escapes. Where it escapes. Employees from a department with a blackout may get enchanted. Hello, Hades. We've actually done really well. We did the Gabura suppression for the discipline department, and it actually went way better than I thought. So if you missed it, look forward to that episode on YouTube in a month. But eventually it'll be awesome. It seems enchanted targets were very safe as they received less damage. Like, you know when you've been enchanted, you're safe. However, after a certain amount of time, they moved to where it is, the bird, and died from its attack. I assume this means you could fight something that's not the bird while you are enchanted, I guess. But as far as I remember, if you're enchanted, you do not go to the bird. Let's give it 1 more work. We also just increased the cap on Prudence. So for now, we can start hitting 128s on all 3 stats that are not Justice. We'll do this. This will probably be the last job for the Meltdown. Not that anybody here is going to die to black, but we don't want pores, please. That... We had a long stretch there of not great results. So anyway, let's finish off a section. Enchanted employees were freed from the trance as soon as they got out of the department that was blacked. Alright, and I think what I'm going to try is to get some of the cheaper sections next, so we can get some more actual upgrades on the work, because that was a little scary. Check insight quality. I mean, yeah, How many points was he giving? He should give around 20 total, plus the 25%, sure. Okay, fine. How did we get 2 goods at low? My employees are amazing. I should have experimented more. This is supposed to be the science episode. Here we go. It's time for science. So, the other quest, get Eagle Gear. So we've got a couple people with some HE or higher Eagle Gear. So, 1 to 3 red damage. Pretty awesome. I guess you can also tell by the animation if you got the upgrade. It actually doesn't do more damage. That's great. Try again. So this might take a little while. We'll just get it out of the way now, but I don't know how many tries it'll take to break them, but theoretically they'll break and then we can just buy new ones and that'll count for the quest. Oh, it's up to 1 to 4 for the grinder. It should go grinder Mark 5, Mark 6, Mark 7. That would be some pretty awesome programming for that. Uh-oh. Charlotte is very sad. Alright, so that's 1. That only took 3 tries, not too bad. Now, we did pick the buzzsaws for a reason. It's because the team uses Schadenfreude and Little Helper a lot to train. So it's kind of the HE that we've got the most points on, and we'll definitely never run out of points on them. But to be fair, most HE abnormalities at this point in the game, you could farm probably as much as you want. 1 to 5, and 1 to 6. It's kind of interesting that the minimum damage never goes up. I bet you it's just a multiplier, like a times 0.1, like a times 1.1 times 1.2 times 1.3 kind of thing. So until it's times 2, the 1 will never go up. Well, it might round up at 1. Yeah, there you go. If it got to 1.5 and the game rounds properly, that might be how it works. Oh, we lost it. This is also interesting for science because 0.25 per use. Oh, that's fair. One of the things I was wondering is if I should have tried this when we fought Gabura. It does seem like the first use has pretty much always been successful. I don't think I've seen anyone fail on the first try yet. And it looks like you generally get through a couple before it breaks. Usually, I would say, well, that was the second one fail. I mean, I don't know what the actual odds are, but depending on the weapon, getting 1 upgrade might be worth it. On these things, it doesn't really matter, but I was thinking if the first one was, you know, let's say closer to guaranteed safe, using it once. Kind of like, it would be interesting. It's possible the game, it'll never break on the first try. Just like we had some gimmicks with the stat adjuster, whatever you call it. Although, just because I've never seen it break on the first one. Do I want the numbers? Nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we had 2 breaks on the second use, so it clearly has relatively high odds on breaking on use number 2. So it's not going to be a reliable big damage up. If anything, you could use it once. And at that point, they seem to break pretty often. That's certainly what my initial 4-tier... My current experiment has led me to believe that probably using it twice is not going to be worth it. And even if it is plus 25% min and max damage, most weapons, that's not going to make much difference. It would help, but a lot of times, I don't know. It's probably not worth it. Unfortunately, this tool is not that great. Now, I suppose if you could confirm that you never break on the first use, that's probably too overpowered, though, because then everyone in your base could get plus 25% every single day if you took the time, and I doubt that that's going to happen. Okay, so the idea was do that, and then replace the weapons, because we got tons of these points. And with that, all we gotta do is finish the day. And there's not much else to worry about. There's nothing else we need to farm right now, other than building up like extra energy for the future. So for the most part, we're just training stats, honestly, and this should be a fairly straightforward day then. Oh yeah, seeing as Robert last day spent a lot of time working on Temperance, look at the results, 128 to all stats. We do not want to send Faith in there though. So, is there anybody down here that needs some stats? Oh yeah, the newbies don't really count. Let's send Jirao. He's already got max Temperance. So we'll send Jirao in, and then his teammate, after he's got the blessing, can work on the other stats. And then down here, you can see the difference that extra 20 Temperance makes. It makes the same level of Fortitude go from high to very high. So pretty awesome getting that max level Temperance when you can. Yeah, we can definitely use some insight. I'm just going to set up a fair amount of work for the moment. Now that insight cap is up, working those things is more valuable. The upstairs team is still training Justice, although we got a lot of progress on the last day. We went from like everybody at level 3 Justice to just a couple left, I think. Wow. And the new guy. Thorinum, you can go get some practice, that's fine. And like I always say, I really do like training up that Temperance first when possible. And now we know not to send Pixel into the Snow Queen. Lesson learned, lesson learned. Alright, those are all the big wigs upstairs. Let's just let this go. I'll probably do a little bit of micromanagement for the stats, but overall I'll try to keep this day a little bit shorter. Just to... I try not to gamble. Don't look at Schadenfreude. I was just checking. I was just checking. Just peeking. Alright. I didn't send anyone to guard Punishing Bird, but that's fine. Now, I gotta say, whoever I sent to do Little Helper did a very bad job. Was that Thorinum? I think I sent you over here. I'm not impressed with your first work today. This clone of you is not off to a great start. Okay, we're gonna get a meltdown, but no big deal. There's only a few things it can even hit. None of them are particularly bad. Oh yeah, we should, there is one more thing we should do today before I forget. We should make sure we do one more Fiery Bird hunt, because getting more Fiery Bird weapons is not a bad plan. But other than that, there's not too much more to worry about for the day. Please no ice cream. Okay, so we know Insight is actually terrible. I mean, I guess we could try Instinct. Let's see if we can learn a little bit more about this bird. We've got an Orange Dawn coming up, which is perhaps the best chance for Faith we've ever had to use her cool gun. Well, this is looking a little bit more likely. I can hear Punishing Bird out there doing its thing. Alright, we got that good. What was it? Just a good increases the counter. So as long as you can get goods fairly regularly, you're off to a great start. Alright, it is Big Bird. We're not on Sesame Street, I promise. You need a 14 to get a good. And by researching that, we also get better success rate. So essentially that -4 is basically nullified just by learning more about it. Alright, well while we're doing that, let's not forget about the other employees that need some stats. Getting everyone closer to 128 on all your stats is certainly not a bad plan. Couple tries for Turkey. Oh yeah, and I specifically wanted to work on attachment for Need, because he's not at 128. And getting those attachments up, right? Alright, fella. I should really leave Thorinum for the next time the bird gets out. It's possible we don't want the annoying bird to get out so often anymore. Or at least not to stay out forever once he gets out. Hades. Hades is one of my guardians. He's kind of like a high-level upstairs protector. Alright, we can get the escape info. So it gets... Oh, it's got a huge counter. That's convenient. 5 employees, so it's 25 deaths. That's the most of any of the death escapers. And it does go up with work. So as long as you work it, that's not so bad. Hades got a huge promotion. Yeah, actually, that is true. It's been a while since I've shown off all the employees, but... let me see. So Hades, at the moment, as our... You're in here working on the Ice Queen, but that's fine. But you've actually got Aleph tier gear and over 100 stats, so you're probably geared enough to come down to the more dangerous areas, but right now you're kind of protecting the newbies with your awesome gear. So you're still in the upper tier, kind of the weak monsters, but you're also responsible for protecting the low guys, the low level guys. There's lots of room for advancement in this company. There's a constant cycle of death and promotion. Alright, this one's less amazing. -8. Hey, Conway. Instinct, not amazing. Attachment, well, I mean, it's good. We can use attachment on it, too. I will be amazed if repression works, but... So you can see here, it looks like instinct and attachment might be about the same results, give or take. -12 is probably getting a little bit dangerous. So after this one, we'll set off Amber Dawn, our Amber Alert. This is no big deal. The most dangerous thing would be, I guess, Faith killing her friends. Everybody else will be fine. Well, to be fair, whenever we have these ordeals, it's possible the janitors will be dumb, and that'll break out something. Also, maybe once we're done this ordeal, we'll try to get a fiery bird kill, just to get an extra weapon. All right, looks like everyone's ready. We'll let Thorinum set it off. All right, worms it is. So this is where people like Hades get to go chop things up. There's no way these low-level worms can withstand the mimicry sword he's got. So trust. I really only have one person over here. I really want to have 2 employees per department. I think optimally I want 3, but like at least a minimum of 2 per department. I need to get some lobotomy points so I don't run out. Okay, this is gonna be fun. This is what we're gonna watch. Is Faith dealing with those over there. That'll be great. No worms on that side. Oh, I forgot to move those guys down like I normally do. Same thing up here. It's actually gonna take a while for my my guardians to get there. Now these guys are nobodies, whatever. They're over here just chilling. They don't even have weapons right now, so don't expect anything out of those guys. Same thing with those 2. So many rooms to target. That's definitely one of the tricks, though, is as you get further through the ranks, the number of departments to micromanage definitely gets higher. I mean, it is a management game. So we'll see how many janitors die. Oh yeah, I gotta watch Faith. Keep an eye on how many go down there. To be fair, though, there's probably going to be a breakout next ordeal. Alright, here we go. This is the magic bullet versus some food. Did not one-shot them. I mean, you one-shot most of the janitors. Win some, lose some, I guess. Now, you could go over here and also clear this out. Tell you what. We don't get to use the magic bullet very often, so there you go. There's few times when I'm willing to shoot it. Now, I wonder if it will also shoot all the way over and kill these guys. Because that's a lot of janitors over there. Maybe it's just the room. Yeah. So, like, if you use this guy's special, it seems to go through walls. But it looks like the gun itself only shoots through the room. Yeah, I think that's probably safe to say. Oh, you didn't want to kill those other worms? Did I ask too much? Yeah, okay, stops at the door. That's probably nice. So it's not that hard to figure out how to use that weapon. You just got to be not dumb about it and just shoot into your employees. Oh, I forgot about Zake up here. He's got a lot of worms. Or Zmick? I don't know, some guy. I guess you could go help him out, Thor. Everything else is already handled. I mean, you say good on low-level ordeals. Oh, he did kill them all. Alright. Oh, no, they just moved. Never mind. A normal weapon that doesn't kill your janitors would be better. But it does kill them quickly in groups. Alright. We're definitely going to have to go through the purple noon. That's also fun. Let's do a couple works on this thing and then we'll go fight the bird. Yeah, the purple noon, it's not good for janitors or, well, it's good if you like seeing the mountain escape. Also, let's get this thing back up to 5. If we can. Alright, we should have all the success. So you can see the cool wall weapons. I'm not a huge fan of slow weapons, but it does do a lot of damage, and at least it's not very short range. Actually pretty good armor, all in all. One of the better wall black armors, and reasonably good on the others. Kind of got a neat little head slot there. Yeah. Hammer is amazing for another reason. Well, once we buy one, we'll see its special abilities, maybe. But yeah. I just mean, in general, I find the slow speed weapons the worst, or less valuable on starting point. That doesn't mean I won't buy it, by any means. Can we work it one more time? This is the only thing that's got weapons we need, so we'll push this one further than normal. In fact, we don't know what Big Bird is killing people for, because, why would Big Bird, I mean, he's not yellow enough, but, he's tired of all the children looking at him, obviously. Pretty good success rate there. Have yourself a lamp hammer. Okay, so we're gonna go send the entire not Faith team down here. Sorry, Faith. This is just not for you. Your piercing weapon is not great when dealing with the bird. So there's a combination here that could be pretty bad. 1, 2, 3. So let's try not to let that happen. Which means, I'm sorry for the +2 to all stats team, but that's not an option for the moment. We're gonna have to deal with this. That looks like a lot of fun. There's probably a fairly easy way to handle it, though. Man, there's a lot of janitors down here. Oh! Double kill! I do like that you can line them up like that. Alright, that's it. Alright, so should be relatively simple this way. I'm almost positive, we've already done this once, but Fiery Bird should be no big deal for this team. What is it that the bunnies do? You can use them, you target one of your departments, or multiple departments, you spend quite a lot of energy, and they will hunt down all escaped abnormalities or ordeals in those areas. We actually haven't shown it off yet. I still haven't found a need for it. But it is something that I'll want to use at some point. Just for fun. Alright, potentially the biggest... No, the biggest challenge of our day will be the Violet Noon. This is just the first challenge. Alright, so I still feel like luring it over here makes sense. Rather than letting it wander around the dumb hallway. Let's get it a little bit into the room. And then... charge! Taking a fair bit of red damage on somebody in there. Oh, I sent in the newbies. Well. Remember when I said I wanted to keep those 4 alive, and then I selected them and sent them to their death? Well, now you get to see Trumpet 1. Oh, well. It's so easy. Wait. Yeah, Mia, you can shoot. It's so easy to mess that up. She'll be fine. Just give her a second. Look at that. Just shoot her. Alright, so we might have had a few employees die. Just 2 by the looks of things. Neither of them were named employees, though, so it's not that bad. But it does affect my score for the day, which is slightly unfortunate. Oh, well. I can't be trusted with employees' lives. If you haven't learned that yet, bunch of escape stuff? No, just the one. If we'd let enough employees die, this guy would have got out. Maybe this thing. But because we suppressed the bird, the counter actually goes up on this one, so it's not so bad. To be honest, you probably want to trigger the mountain next on its own. And we could do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We're kind of in the right spot anyway, so... Okay, level 4 people, get out of the way. Slight change of plan. We're going to show off another cool trick. Because the purple noon is going to be tricky. Level 5 employees can stay down here. I'm very confused by why everyone took a different route, but it's fine. Those are my 2 level 4s that I don't want involved. Used to be 4 of them. Alright. Get those guys out of the way. So, this is a cool trick. First trumpet with just fire. I know, hey? A trumpet from a bird that we wanted to escape. No janitors even died. I think it might have been trumpet when the 2 employees died, actually. It was probably not just the bird on its own, but the employees. Alright, so we need to get rid of some, let's say... Probably... I'm just plotting. How many exactly do I want to kill? I'm going to shoot over kind of here. I'm going to try to take out like 5 or so. Well, we could math it out because we've... They both go down... This one goes... I think no matter what... If we've only done 1 suppression, this has got +1, then they're still going to release at the same time. Unless we bump it up to 3. Which would require doing something like this. We have to suppress something else, which would result in little red. So then do we do that first? Man, this is a lot of messing around for supposedly an easy day. Oh well. Just have them guarding just in case. Unfortunately, we've got so many lose counter on death. It's not even difficult. It's just whenever you have to do an ordeal, a purple ordeal, you know a lot of janitors are gonna die, and it's gonna force things to escape. Now we could start right now trying to efficiently remove some of these things. They're not even real people. But just it takes so long. I hate going through and removing every single employee in every section. It just, I don't know. I find this kind of one of the more frustrating mechanics if you have to do this all day. Come on. I want bullet efficiency. That's the spirit. Look at that. Much fewer to be squished employees. Anyway, let's do the thing. So if you've never seen this before, this is the easy to get breakout that's very, very easy to suppress, that we use specifically when we want to drop Little Red's counter. I'm doing it twice because this way she goes out at a different time than when the mountain goes out. It's a hassle. Whoa, you're live. Yeah, it's pretty late. This is not supposed to be a long episode. This is supposed to be the last one, and then I got all... I don't know what happened. It is pretty late. No doubt. Alright, this time. Why are there 100+ new janitors opening every day? Yeah, if there was possible to just not recruit them all, I might not hire them all. I got the fever. Yeah, it's a fun game. Definitely a fun game. And I've been having a lot of, what do you call it? Bugs, like crashes and stuff, so I had to take a bit of a break. So. Can we kill it before anybody dies? Optimally, we just split people up here a little bit. Let's throw a red shield over here. I mean, I mostly trust the A team, but you never know for sure, because red really dishes stuff out area of effect really quick, so it's hard to know for sure. Game of seemingly representation of paranoid schizophrenia. Yeah, I mean, in a management setting, there's if you like the SCP kind of stories, there's a first-person sort of horror survival game that's probably got more schizophrenic properties because it's a horror first-person game. Whereas for your management, it's a little bit tamer. Am I really gonna break this thing out and this thing out? I feel like this is a waste of time, sort of. But on the other hand, are any of these employees real? I mean, that is the question. Are we real? The purple noon's gonna drop. I guess what we should just do instead of triggering this right now is get to the purple noon, be prepared to deal with him, because he'll break out almost assuredly when this pops. But even if 2 of the 3 break out, Little Red will not. And it would take 20, maybe 25 deaths to worry about this thing. So I think we go for that plan. Also, we've got terrible work speed thanks to our bird fight. Black Noon, it's purple, but yeah, I get you. Alright, that's the plan. We're gonna prepare for the ordeal. Work on Big Bird. Try to get him to level 5. I kind of got one chance. How many centipede? I've been making a couple since we got Big Bird. I can't help it, but you know, with the movement, with the work speed down, it might actually be harder to get the good that I'm trying to get here. I suppose I could have someone ready to work, and as soon as the noon triggers... Well, no, the employees will all die almost immediately, so it wouldn't help. You need to get a 14 on that. Oh, so close! So close. We could try again, but the odds are just keeping to get worse. I mean, if the purple noon goes real bad and he breaks out, things are going to get spicy. Let's just be patient here for a second. That's more spice than I can handle at this exact second. I can handle a fair bit of spice, but this is supposed to be an easy day, so let's try to keep it that way. 1, 2, what, 3? We can probably do one more. Yeah, one more. So we'll do some attachment down here. Mexican spicy or Thai spicy. I think if we let the Violet Noon release three at the same time and potentially more chain reactions, that would probably qualify as Thai spicy. The BlueAnkylo bot strikes again. All right. So the mountain's definitely going to break out, 100%. Hopefully, this thing does not. And double hopefully, this thing does not. Because if they go all 3, then so does Little Red, which is a quad fun. And things get worse. I'm going to go 2 upstairs teams. Because we do also need to destroy the actual Violet Noon monsters. And we need to be doubly sure that no one's standing in a big room. So make sure no one's in one of those rooms unless you want them to die. Best case scenario, everyone gets a vacation. Yeah. I've probably overcommitted to this room, but I know the mountain will get out. And we can kill him real quick. And then we can, like, this is like all of our best employees. We can split them up if we need to, once he's dead. Alright, that's the plan. Let's trigger it with some HR spiders, because they're nearby. Fella, you know, he hasn't grown tired of HR spiders. Oh, he's in the wrong group. Never mind. I want somebody who's close by. Pixel, sure, why not? You got room for growth. Alright, the other thing we could do here is I still have bullets. Is there anybody else that's like an efficient kill before a second or 2 from now when they're all about to get squished? Oh, they didn't even drop in that room. You could try to predict in the second before the squishing happens. But I don't know if you can still execute them. You actually refill your bullets. You know. I never really plotted that out. But theoretically, we can stop some of these deaths because we just got 20 bullets. Because you can see where it's going to land, you know, half a second before it happens. And thanks to our timey-wimey shenanigans, we can shoot all the janitors. Yeah, we'll see if this works. I think I did execute them all before they dropped. Oh, this guy's about to die. Might have saved his... Not his life. Don't mistake that I'm saving their lives. I'm just saving my life. Alright, so did we actually pull that off temporarily? No mountain. Not bad. So I'm going to send some employees up here, and the rest are going to stay down. Teleportation bullets, yeah. They're time travel bullets. We just send them to tomorrow. Sometimes, you know, people always use time travel to go back. Why don't you just send people one day forward? That's not even that big a deal, right? Now, we still might have enough passive employee death during these fights to have problems, but should be okay. Yeah, these obelisk things, honestly, if you don't have abnormalities with death counters, these are one of the easiest noons, because once you're past the drop effect, they're really easy to kill. Genders aren't even people. Aww. So they did get their little purple thing off, but they didn't... There's almost nothing in this section that can even drop its clip-off counter. Alright, well that wasn't so bad, right? I don't know where Faith is. Oh yeah, okay, she's... I'm like, is Faith about to kill everybody, or are we okay? Alright, well I think at this point, we should be fine. We'll be able to finish our day without too much more problem. That was... I would say, actually, that was a very... I mean, I just pat myself on the back, but that was one of the best purple noon handling we've had since we've got the mountain. Because I don't think... I'm not sure any janitors died at all, actually. I think we did pretty much superb. So anyway, again, not to oversell it, but like, that was pretty good. Alright. Well, I mean, I did prepare a lot. It wasn't easy. It's just a lot of preparation. Easy clap, yeah. That's the real reason why we stream, is to get all the internet points. You're at full health, right? Yeah. Wouldn't want to go in there and release it now by not being smart. Yeah, those are fine. I was like, why do I only have one employee that can work? And yeah, it's because of my Fiery Bird adventure. Don't forget about Fiery Bird. So if we mostly stick to the safe abnormalities, there's not really much else we can mess up. We'll let the newbies continue to practice a little bit up here. Other than the ordeals and certain other mistakes, it's pretty hard to... It's pretty hard for our base to break down right at this moment. Obviously, there's still mistakes you can make, but we're in a comfortable position, I guess, would be the way to look at it. We can work nearly as long as we want every day to farm stats or energy or weapons if we really care. It's not necessary, but we have that ability. I would like to get one more of these weapons, I suppose. We'll do another meltdown. It's not even a big deal, but we'll need it for the energy anyway. We don't have quite enough energy to finish without doing at least the cycle 5. You guys should move down a level. Not like it matters at this point. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed Hades. Thanks. I always feel bad that I don't get to do them as often as I want, or maybe advertise them the same. I'm sure we could have much busier streams if I spent more time promoting them or planning them out a little better, but yeah, you know, I do what I can. I try. Alright, Mia and Blue. We can just do not very high. We don't need to be very high. Just a little bit high is enough for today. What else are we going to do? Maybe one more job here. Get some more temperance. I guess a lot of our work should be focused on getting the weapons in the new area. Hold up. Make sure you select the right command. Look how fast it goes when you stop paying close attention to all your employees. So much easier. Of course, this is when you make mistakes, but... when you start going a little quick. Okay. This guy, you like this guy? What is it meant to be? I don't know. It's a smiling plant with thorns. It's, if you read the story on it, I guess I should read the story eventually. It's what would you say? It's a plant that has some sort of drug or something that makes you feel good. So it hits your pleasure centers with some sort of plant pheromone, maybe. But if you like it too much, you die. This is the one with the head exploding. So somewhere in here, if we read through this later on, now it's time for my head to burst, good day. So if you use too much of it, I assume something bad happens. But I have to read that story to really know the details. And I'm lazy. And it's also very late. So we're not going to go that long tonight. So we're almost done today. These guys are probably maxed out on their stats on deer friar shoots. Reading hard, okay, yeah. I mean, I do really like the stories for these. These are the spooky stories, really. I think it's a nice part of the game, and sometimes it does give you some good tips on how to work them. But some of these episodes are just so long, and it's also pretty late. So what do I need here? Need one more job. This might be it. No, I guess we'll do one more meltdown, but then we'll call that probably there. This will probably get our current newbies at least their justice up to level 5 or so. And you can just pause the video, that's true. Or you can rewind the stream and read all of them if I pause them all for a second. Alright. Should be our final meltdown, probably. So we'll just do one last round of work for people who I decide need the work. The writing is a lot better than it needs. I mean, if you've read the SCP, if you've ever dove into SCP stories, they do tend to have pretty good writing. You know, it's all like, whatever you want to call it, like, they're probably not professional writers very often, but they tend to be, like, amateur, but, like, spirited amateurs, maybe is a way to look at it. And it's just unfortunate that the game was written in Korean, and that the paid translation company did not necessarily do the stories justice. Not that I think they did a terrible job. It's just, well, there's certainly some weaknesses. It depends on specifically what part. Like, there's probably some sections that are as bad as Google Translate's Faith. Most of it isn't totally terrible. It's just every now and then you get one that's almost unreadable. It tends to be the backer ones, although you can't see from here, but the ones that are maybe later additions to the game tend to have weaker translations. He might have had two people that just couldn't speak English. Yeah, that's definitely the feeling. Alright, are we pretty much done our day? Can I afford my oh, almost. It's gonna escape! Hurry! I can't. We lost the energy from this thing. It dropped me just below my quota. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. One last little bit of excitement before we end the stream. Awesome. Where is he? Does he not start where he gets out? Or is he just taking his sweet time to get out? Is he invisible? Oh, what's this? He just teleports! What a jerk! Cheating, Porcubus. Look at this, his head exploded. Gotta keep an eye on... we gotta keep up the, keep an eye on the mountain here. Alright. It should be fine. Oh, you said... Right, the story said he got tied up. I don't see any chains, but I'll unpause in a second. I just want to make sure there's no employees nearby that are gonna, get their head bursted. Also, it said something about short range, so let's only send people in. Charlotte, you're not supposed to be here. Go away. Michaela, go away. We'll only send people in who have melee weapons. Smile, Mimicry, Gold Rush. Aleph. So it's all melee weapons. He can only be hurt by people he can hurt. Yeah, that was... I read that. I remember reading that in his little tips there. If there's anything we need to remember, here it is. Don't go in there with low temperance. Massive white damage. So yeah, don't have bad temperance. Not affected by long range, basically. That's all it really says, so... That's all we know. He has a stat gimmick. Yeah, the temperance. We already... That's fine. And I did get enough... I clicked the wrong one, but I almost had enough for all the stuff I wanted. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm pretty sure HE versus Aleph should be nothing, though. He's doing 1 damage. I saw a crit for 97. Like, I mean, was anyone seriously concerned? It's all good. It's all good. Nothing to worry about. Let's do one more work on the big bird. It won't get us the hammer, but it's fine. And that'll get us our energy. We'll be done. Did I sound slightly... Well, what I don't like is abnormalities that teleport. As a general rule, I've only seen a couple that teleport, and they were terrible. For those of you that remember the magic giraffe and a certain transforming magical girl, those two gave me a lot of trouble. So anything that starts teleporting, I'm immediately suspicious. How come I don't have enough energy? Seriously? Seriously? One more. Also, who's on bird duty? Bird... All I can hear in the background is just tap, tap, tap. Now, if there was anything to be worried about, it would essentially be if he had killed enough janitors via teleportating, Ankylo word of the day, into an area with a lot of janitors and broke this guy out. That would have got us to 1, and then if also this broke out, suddenly it would have been bad. But I mean, it would have been... That would have been a big surprise if this thing managed to break out 2 more Alephs, essentially. Let's just let the bird go home, okay? I was just trying to get all our lobotomy points, because we had 2 more deaths. We're done. We're at the point where the punishing bird can't even hurt people? Yeah, it's not that scary. Alright, 2 questions. This is what you get for recording in the middle of the morning. It's so late, it's morning now. 2 quests complete. We had a trumpet that never went away, apparently. And we might have had a couple deaths that we shouldn't have had. But we still got an A and 18 lobotomy points. I don't know exactly how many points you lose for employee death. But clearly, we could have got a little bit more if I'd been a little bit more careful. But I won't bring those 2 unless I need to anyway. So hopefully we won't have that happen again. Yeah, no one will die tomorrow. Anyway, we got some more stat gains. It's nice to see the 120s. Pretty much everyone should be level 5. I'm trying to balance out the lowest stats for the most part first, so it's nice to see things averaging out. And we still have a pretty good team overall, even if we're short 1 or 2 employees, but I'd say we're pretty strong, pretty solid on stats. Who died? Oh, these guys were just no-names. I brought in 4 randos with no stats just to do a quest, and if I just kept them separated, they would have been fine, but I accidentally threw them to the Firebird, and thus they got burned. So nobody important, yeah. Just sacrifices to the Firebird. Thanks, Hades. We gotta pick our abnormality first before we end, though. Ooh. Ah. Well, then. Well. We haven't had enough fun? I think we need another Aleph? I'm not going to pick the boring hug thing, because that's lame. I want more Aleph equipment. This thing is a pain to work. It will take longer to get the armor and weapons, the E-boxes, essentially. Mind you, we can suppress it by now. There's no doubt in my mind. that if this thing breaks out, we can suppress it pretty easy. If you get it early game, if it breaks out, it's a restart because it steals all your energy. But this late in the game, I am 100% sure with double Aleph weapons, we could take it out pretty quick. It'd be nice if we had another pale weapon, but we got a ton of black damage, so that'd be fine. This thing, I don't know if I've ever been able to suppress it, so it's one of those things that if it ever breaks out, we might be done. Maybe. But, on the other hand, you can work it a lot easier. This one, hard to work, fairly easy to suppress at this point. This thing's probably harder to suppress, but a lot easier to get your gear out of it. So maybe we'll go with this one first, and if I get this one later, we'll pick it up later. And that would be pretty much all the Alephs at that point. Pretty nearly. I'll go with this one. I did say earlier on that I would take it if I saw it, and I see it, so we'll take it. What's the worst that can happen? I forget if the armor from it's any good, but yeah, whatever. It's been quite a while since your first encounter with the abnormalities. I guess you became a little more familiar with them. Let me ask you again, what do you think abnormalities are? Oh, please don't say that you still believe they're just bizarre alien creatures. I mean, some of them are literally from space, it says. But okay. Abnormalities are not the evil monsters you read about in old fairy tales. It isn't a supernatural god that will judge our sins. There is an old river that has been flowing at the very bottom of the world for many ages. So, if you remember from our little chat with Bina, the river with the well. It's the source of everything, but has been forgotten by mankind. Familiar? Nobody knew of its existence, but somewhere in the world there is a very small gap or hole through which the river is connected. Often strange creatures come out of the gap from the Black Forest, and this is also something that the bird stories will talk about. And that might even be another bird. Obviously, the number was insufficient for Lobotomy Corporation's energy needs. Is there the third bird here? If that's two, is the third one hiding somewhere? You just can't see it? Our new technology does not produce energy. Wait a second. Our new technology does not produce energy from abnormalities? But it creates abnormalities. Well, guys, there you go. Turns out all this energy we've been working on is to make more abnormalities. Just like every day we get a new abnormality because we got enough energy the day before to make a new abnormality. Sweet! This is great! I love it. What a great business plan. Their forms were incomplete because they came from the Forgotten Place. We are scared of them because they are incomplete. And it is because of that terror that they have been sealed to the underground. But abnormalities are part of the seed. That's what I meant by possibility. We have a seed of light from all the suppressions. Maybe that's related. Or seed of hope or something. The seed is not something that can be made in just one day or create on its own. We realized if we wanted to fix a broken system, we couldn't just sit around in a sunny spot waiting for the clouds to part. What should we do after planting the seeds? We can't control the entire process. We have to leave them to sprout on their own. You produce energy for them. I think the idea is the abnormalities that we work on still generate energy. We just use that energy to create more abnormalities rather than, you know, exporting it for profit like we were told. I think that's what that meant. Aren't we allowed those hopes at least? That much hope. Something. Anyway, some quest completions. The last time we talked to Bina, she talked about wells and stuff, and I was pretty confused. But luckily, Angela has explained the well river theory a little bit better. So when she told us that she draws water from the well, we might have an idea what she means now. Oh, I forgot to read that one. It's a sight to see. There have been days where I've spent reading all the meaningless letters. I think she said something about the tombs in the background. These are also coffins. It is death itself, but also the possibility of birth. I have been guarding their coffins for many years. I perform the dedications for those who cannot leave. That's one of the few things I do. If you spend enough time in the grave, you can hear the whispers of the dead. The sound of their words so dark, it makes me feel like I'm being filled with black water. Seeing as you're taking a look around, you must be starting to get bored. I don't always have guests, and I would feel bad to only show you these tombstones. Did you call, Bina? The boundary of this employee has been crumpled. What's your name? My name is, Nathan. This one was in charge of extracting ego. He happened to see the inside of the well by chance, and luckily survived. He had to pay for looking into the well, though, but they managed to save him by giving him the maximum dose of aspirin. After that, he was able to return to work. But once you glimpse through the crack of the boundary, you can never go back to the world you once belonged. Do you want to see something interesting? Nathan, could you tell the manager what you saw and what you had to forget? From the tombstone, there are sleeping people deep down. They are the ones who are dreaming good dreams. At the same time, they are called the Well in the language of this place. So the well is not a physical water-drawing well. The well is a group of sleeping people. This is sounding vaguely like Final Fantasy X. Okay. We need to extract them and inject some cogito. Then what? Then what did you see? That man, that... Keep going. He, in the well? He passed out, poor thing. Sometimes the translation is not good. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. Why did he pass out, I guess? They cannot disobey me. And for him to pass out without completing his sentence means that he pushed himself to the limit to obey my orders. I have been seeing what this child saw for hundreds, thousands of times. Maybe even more. So why am I involved? Why am I still sane enough to talk to you? I can barely contain my spirit thanks to my mechanical body. Yet the strong back, yes, the strong back that never breaks. But, hey, did you forget I was also born from a human mind? No. You're a robot now. However, one good thing, even if I go crazy and run amok, destroying everything, including you, which will probably be the suppression soon enough, I have her to turn my power off. But if that day really comes, I would rather you kill me than her. It's the least you can do to a confined person as me, such as I. Alright, next quest. One employee must have 4 or more ego gifts. Not too bad. We already checked in between episodes. We definitely have this. You can take the word gift literally. Weaker than ego. I wonder if it's another acronym. Seems like they do a lot of those. If the energy creates creatures, what's powering the tech? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Hades. It's... Sometimes the translation is just not well enough. It's not strong enough, and I'm not sure if the original writers even thought that far. Alright, so we got our first extraction gift. So we could get, when someone dies, 1 in 4 chance to not lose their equipment, which seems kind of weak. Or one of the better upgrades, which is if you don't like your abnormalities, re-roll them. You can only re-roll them once. Or, maybe even better, double the chance of getting those ego gifts. I think the choice clearly is one of these two. And I'm pretty much okay getting this first, because the sooner... this isn't something I'm going to really farm for. But if we're passively getting twice as many gifts on average, this gives us a little bit better stats in the long run. The reroll is like, you see 3 abnormalities, but you don't like any of them, so you click a reroll button, and they all alternate. It's pretty cool. It's definitely a nice one, and if you're going to restart the game, this would be awesome to start with. It's real powerful. Really, like, it's probably the best. If you're starting over, it's probably the best one to pick. But we're not going to start over right now, so we can get them both, and I think this is the best at the moment gift. But, you know, we'll get that one soon enough. It definitely helps you, like, if you have it at the beginning, it helps you set up your base a lot more, well, you can avoid losing situations or stack the deck a little bit more in your favor if that's what you want. So this will be cool. Actually, wait a second, didn't I? Oh, right. I forgot. The 4th quest doesn't actually give you any quest reward. We already had the 3. It's kind of odd that we didn't even talk to Hakma, but I guess the discussion comes after... Oh, we have to open the room up. So we're not going to get the core suppression and the discussion until we get the 5th slot. We actually haven't finished unlocking this area. We've only got up to 4 rooms, but the 5th slot gives you the quest, I guess. We might... I'm not sure if I'll go next or if I'll keep expanding extraction, but we'll get it soon enough. But we did get the quest completed, even if we didn't get the dialogue. And yeah, so honestly, that was a pretty successful day, 2 days in a row. This will be fun. We'll be looking forward to some more Aleph gear. And yeah, Ego Gift drop chance. So default was Aleph Ego Gifts tended to be 1% for some passive stat gains. And now they're up to 2%. Or things that were relatively easy to get, like they used to be 5%, are now 10%. So that's also, like, it's pretty good. Like, I feel a little bit bad that I don't show these off very often because I just don't notice them, and I've got so many employees it's hard to keep track of. Jean Matthew actually hasn't got any in a long time, but maybe now with the doubling it'll happen a little bit more often. And some of them are really good. Some of them are less good because they've got penalties, but like, for instance, the Gold Rush, which, I mean, I have forgotten to look at a lot of these, but this thing gives you all instinct work plus 6%. So if you've got this, it makes working something like this guy that you want to use instinct on really easy to work on, which is pretty awesome. You might want to lock some really good ones. Oh, you mean like the Ego Gift locking, right? I don't do that either. You can click the button. I thought it's not locked though. I thought it just am I missing the idea here? I thought it. YouTube future tubers, we're gonna end the episode here, and then we're gonna have a little chat with the stream before we call it quits tonight. But we got to end the episode. So thank you, folks. I'll see you next time.